The Invention of Unsurpassability, The Limits of My Imagination and Originality in Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. Introduction. This book is a book which will attempt to explain both the story and its meaning, which are embedded in my volume of sonnets called Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems, a volume I did write indeed with heavenly angels for a specific purpose. That purpose will be the subject of this book, and I will proceed line by line to study and explain, like the ancient Kabbalist text of the Zohar, the content of the subject matter of these interrelated sonnets. It will be my first attempt but continual practice of arriving at the wonder of this book, and I attempt the understanding as a start to reading the book even better in the future, though the foundation is what I understand of this book so far, and I will share what I can to describe it for the reader's own use. Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems is a unique book, as any reader, I trust, will understand. It is a book I wrote about 8 years ago in 2010, and I self-published it immediately. It, as a book, appears in another book of mine, Hedbuttrasiya, a play, which is a time when I went to the heaven of Hedbuttrasiya while waiting for the first copy of Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems to arrive that week in the mail. In the 8 years since Hawaiian Sonnets was self-published, I have both memorized a large portion of lines from its pages, as well as used my memory of those lines to launch newer poems over those 8 years. However, my reason for writing this book, The Invention of Unsurpassability, is that Hawaiian Sonnets was me writing at my personal best, with the angels' guidance, and I never have been able to equal nor copy its originality in the years after it in any poem I have written subsequently. The main story of this book you are reading now is to show that Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems, as a personal vision, indeed was written in such a way so that nothing that I, at least, could ever write again could top it. That is Hawaiian Sonnets' vision. I have come to learn that it was made to be so strong, to be so unsurpassable by me, that though I would never ever be able to write like that again because it framed all of my intentions to copy it, what I could gain, if not in any new poems, if not in new meter, I would gain in accepting the understanding that it was made just for that very reason, to be unsurpassable, and for me to accept that limitation so as to learn why, explain how it happened to murder my hope to be at those heights again writing new poems, and to see just what the angels and I were doing by writing that book in a time of my life where the vision of the future, of its meaning, would be also the very subject of the very book of verses I was writing as a final statement and end, not to meaning, but to the limits of my own imagination. I have tried and failed to write poems close to Hawaiian Sonnets, nothing can come close. And during that very time when I wrote those verses, my angel wives and I would joke that what we were writing was so very bad that it was good, a joke which meant that after all of this time, that it would destroy my hopes to write anything better than it, but would yield one day a great meaning and treasure for the rest of my days, which would reward my understanding with a new power to know in fact how the greatest part of my imagination could be represented once, and only once in time, a sacrifice of all for all of its greatness for meaning in the end. Angel Jennifer with me. The Invention of Unsurpassability. Preface. I begin in the present moment where as a minor poet and reader I fail at every attempt to copy the originality of my verses from Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. I know why I love the sonnets, it is an intense feeling as a parent has for the child, I just do not know how to produce another child quite like it. On my mind at present are Walt Whitman and William Wordsworth, whose own poetry, according to literary critic Harold Bloom, had only a decade of greatness, then after that they wrote blather. Bloom's statement recalls to my mind this own predicament of mine, for I cannot write like I did in Hawaiian Sonnets, yet something else I understand has happened. Was it an one-hit wonder, a flash in the pan, those verses? Did my best writing occur and die during that time because I aged? My own angels tell me no, for I now understand, set it up that I as a poet did not die away in strength, but that volume of sonnets could not ever again be surpassed by me again, that it is meant to act, by a close reading, as it does, as a blocking agent, and one so strong that I cannot copy it whatever I do, for it defends itself on its own ground against my attempts at doing so. I am not blind because what I did I can show now why it produces these effects, though I am, however, blocked permanently, from writing that way again, so my angels and I set things up that way. For many years I have even made songs which sing those verses to music, for I am a music composer too. And tonight I might add, that I listened to some of those songs I made of Hawaiian sonnets and other poems on YouTube, after weeping for joy, yes, with tears running down my cheeks, because I know that I am blocked but have the insight of late of what I did by writing those sonnets, and how these strong lines of the verses produce their strength. As strange as those sonnets may seem at first, the joy I feel has much to do with my appreciation of my success to interpret the entire book of sonnets as a defense of that poet I was back then against whatever poet I have tried to become up to the present day. We, the angels and I, made the book unsurpassable by me, so that I could understand its strength of doing so. That to me is my subject matter of this book, and my interpretation seeks to show just how being my best back then killed any possibility, on purpose, for me to be any better as a visionary. Harold Bloom also notes how strong poets have a foretelling in their poetry of the future. I also will strive to point this out in this book, since this book is a story of how Hawaiian sonnets and its content have thwarted my imagination over and over again, and why. I will not bring any new poems into my study, but only study the lines of Hawaiian sonnets and other poems to show how they foretold my doom to be blocked forever from copying it, but also how they work to strengthen an appreciation of my own limits by such a rich and meaningful understanding of them. Angel Penelope with me. The Invention of Unsurpassability. From Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. Sonnet 1, with commentary. Love is a dealer's fee owed by you. Salutation to the America of colored visions. On vacation the cat, on the job, on missions. Education kingfish, away my few. Mask the magnetic solutions of a vain will. The debt too full to be anger-free. No white death, of answer B. The way is of building a kingdom of chill. You know it also do away with killing matter. Portable hug paradigm, all in power. Break sound, the barrier, in a silver flower. Weed lord a marbled life teenaged, shatter. Make troubled baby lily speak no words. The queen's neck thorns under trusted birds. Line 1. Love is a dealer's fee owed by you, that you is me now, a person I will henceforth call blocked me. The way this line works is that the future me, aside from the poet, me, the one who with my angels wrote this line, the poet I shall henceforth call free me, that the free me has predicted that the blocked me of now and before has fallen in love with the poetry in this book, Hawaiian sonnets and other poems, and love means that I must pay it back because I am in debt to this book. I must pay it back by being rational and listening to it, that is reading. The dealer is the free me. Line 2, Salutation to the America of Colored Visions refers to the future rainbow of this entire book, for there was a flood that blocked the blocked me for so long, which at last, like with Noah from the Bible, cleared a way to produce a rainbow. Therefore, I am preparing myself in the future for a salutation, a hello to a new beginning of meaning. It happens in America since Hawaii, the island, is a part of this book's meaning. Line 3, On vacation, the cat, on the job, on missions. Here the vacation refers to that interval of time I spent making it my mission to copy, in my blockedness, the originality of Hawaiian sonnets. My job nevertheless would fail, but its failure understood is the point. The cat is me as blocked me. Line 4, Education kingfish, away my few. The kingfish, though a bird, really symbolizes the best self one can be, and that self is free me, who is like a king, writing these sonnets with authority. Free me's purpose is to educate blocked me as blocked me sends away my few, that is new poems which wish to be like those of Hawaiian sonnets. Line 5, Mask the magnetic solutions of a vain will. However, blocked me's new poems cannot surpass the poems of free me, and therefore blocked me's will to do so is in vain. Blocked me will pull down the mask over his anger, see the next line, as every solution he is attracted to, which is to write like he did when he was free me, here, fails. Line 6, the debt too full to be anger-free relates the word free to the debt of the dealer, free me. Blocked me is now desperate to outdo his past, though he cannot, so the debt of his poems like this one of the past in this book, Hawaiian Sonnets, is so full according to free me that that very debt is what is blocking blocked me. Line 7, No white death, of answer B, means that white death will be a permanent winter of the dead imagination of blocked me when he was at his heights, as here, as free me. Of answer B, blocked me can only find answer to his own death of his self-slain imagination by accepting that blankness of death. Line 8, The way is of building a kingdom of chill. This line means that to accept blocked me's dead poethood, or permanent blockage, he must come to the kingdom of meaning, which is both a winter of death and a chill as in a chill out, that is to accept blocked me's powerlessness not by writing more, but by not writing more. Line 9, you know it also do away with killing matter. This is free me's advice to blocked me that the poems have already been written, that blocked me should stop killing himself over and over, putting himself in hopes of writing a matter similar to Hawaiian sonnets and other poems. Line 10, portable hug paradigm, all in power. This is the root of the covenant which free me from the past is making with blocked me of the future, that once blocked me accepts that he cannot surpass free me, that the covenant love is represented in that portable book to hug as it were as a paradigm which would bring meaning back to all is now in power to know the meanings left over. Line 11, break sound, the barrier, in a silver flower. This is a symbol for surpassing sound, going faster than the speed of sound, but by being in a silver flower, it means that one of the symbols of this book of sonnets is the book itself as a silver flower, that though one has lost the ability to sound newer poems, that blocked me can still go beyond its barrier by understanding the poems one cannot surpass, as represented in that silver flower book. Line 12, weed lord, a marbled life teenaged, shatter, the weed lord as it were is the dealer, free me, who stones in both senses of the word, to harden as if even with drugs, blocked me, and to stone him to his poetic death, a shattering event as young as he was, like a teenager. Line 13, make troubled baby lily speak no words. Baby Lily is a poem which blocked me would try and write, but should remember to be quiet so as to learn from free me from the past, blocked me's past self. Line 14, the queen's neck thorns under trusted birds. The trusted birds are free me's angels, the ones who helped me write this sonnet and the others, while the queen's neck is the silver flower which is Hawaiian sonnets, which has thorns in case blocked me attempts to pluck it up from its roots, that is, to copy it, which free me defends against by making it unsurpassable. Angel honey with me. The Invention of Unsurpassability. From Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. Sonnet 2, with commentary. Roughing Penelope, Grandma Beth. 5 nooses of the deaf she bothers. 2 doular honeys roasting honeyed fathers. Wipe desi evers grey and get emeth. Him beater now drain sleep and sleep. Little farm feud, Hager star. Feel arrows home eternity mid right far. Laugh. Atop the first mountain steep. Ant deck for a farm feud. Green justice to all snowy ties ets. Dolly bleaching all her techni debts. Ain't Davareem falling, so it's lewd. One thing's on her warm mind when the gunner. Beth's laughing at her grandma's runner. Line 1, the entire poem is violent without doubt, and it must be, if the free me is to slay the imagination of the blocked me for a higher reward. Roughing Penelope, Grandma Beth presents 2 characters which allude to Homer's Odyssey, where Penelope was the wife of Odysseus who waited 10 years for him to return from battle in the Trojan War, and Grandma Beth will in this poem refer to Odysseus's old nurse who discovers Odysseus in disguise when he comes back. Line 2, 5 nooses of the deaf she bothers. Penelope as free me will be very rough as it turns out in order to blocked me permanently from possessing the ability to write another Hawaiian sonnets. In the Odyssey, the bad servants were hung in nooses, and so hanging is how free me killed the imagination of the blocked me, by cutting off the life of me with 5 nooses, 1 for each finger of the hand with which I write because I was deaf to the warning that Hawaiian sonnets could not be topped. Line 3, 2 doular honeys roasting honeyed fathers. This violent line is Penelope's farewell salute to every poem the blocked me ever tried to write, and failed, to surpass those Penelope as the free me made. Those fathers, or poems, are as slow as honey, while the poems of Penelope, free me are as sweet as honey to blocked me. Line 4, wipe deceivers grey and get emeth. Emeth means truth in Hebrew, and I use the Hebrew since I will refer to the Hebrew Bible a little later in this poem. To wipe deceivers is to wipe out all those poems which blocked me would attempt to write to come closer to imitating those of Hawaiian sonnets. This line explains that the only way to arrive at the truth, emeth of my writing is to learn that the way for the shine to come back is to allow those grey clouds, false poems, to pass on and not be attempted. Many times I will allude also to Noah and the flood, where the flood represents those poems free me wrote in which I myself as blocked me drowned trying to survive against but could not. Line 5, him beater now drain sleep and sleep, I could not, and cannot beat those hymns of Free Me, in Hawaiian sonnets, the verses. They beat me up by draining my sleep as I learned the hard way the lesson that I could not outdo them. Line 6, Little Farm Feud, Hagar star. This line is part of the meaning of the trick in the poem. The slave, Hagar from the Bible, fought with Sarah, her master's, Abraham's wife, and ran away with her child to the wilderness. That child is Hawaiian sonnets, while Free Me became Blocked Me. Hagar put the child aside to die until God told Hagar to go back to serve Sarah. It can be seen as a farm feud, that is, Hagar feuding with Sarah on the estate. The Blocked Me is the star Hagar because I put aside my own child trying to survive and write similar poems. This poems of Hawaiian sonnets are about the blocked me, and such struggles I would face as a poet failing to overcome my own child. Hawaiian sonnets written when I was free me. Line 7, Feel arrows home eternity mid right far, I was far from the home but had to go back to its eternity of perfection, the arrows pointing my way back, which also allude to Odysseus's means of murdering the suitors of Penelope at the end of the Odyssey, as blocked me represents a suitor as it were too. Line 8, Laugh. Atop the first mountain steep, that steep of a mountain is its peak, the top to which no one can climb higher. To laugh here is to laugh in awe of that great success and perfect height. Noah's mountain after the flood where he landed was Mount Ararat, which symbolizes this peak of the first dry land of the new earth's beginning. Line 9, Ant Deck for a Farm Feud, An ant deck can be seen as the poems written in the wake of Hawaiian sonnets. The feud between the Free Me and the Blocked Me symbolizes the great gap between my achievement as Free Me with the Hawaiian sonnets and the desire to copy the same their originality, which only produced a smallness compared to a greatness. Line 10, Green Justice to all snowy ties ets. This line means that a spring green will come if I can tie together each noose as Free Me for Blocked Me, such as to create a permanent winter for the imagination of Blocked Me. The green is that spring after the snows of winter, but it is a new spring of acceptance that I cannot write because I as Blocked Me am blocked. The justice is the compensation in this lesson of having to accept my limitations. An etz is Hebrew for a tree. Like the tree of life, I am suggesting for later. Line 11, Dolly bleaching all her techni debts. Dolly is Blocked Me, as B'nai Vova, a little scholar doll. The bleach is the snow from that winter of my indebtedness to Free Me and his Hawaiian sonnets, while I must be at my end, winter, to have a snowfall, but this is explained more by the next line. Techni is a word for skill in Greek, a skill I had as Free Me, but do not have, nor ever will again, as Blocked Me. Line 12, Ain't Davarim falling, so it's lewd, as mentioned my bleaching is of snowing, but this line shows that snow does not consist in Davarim or words in Hebrew, words of any better poem than Hawaiian sonnets. And therefore, after trying to write beyond the Hawaiian sonnets, hoping to imitate it, I could not, so I grew lewd as my words, attempting to outdo something already perfect in my mind. Line 13, One thing's on her warm mind when the warm mind is warm because Penelope exists as a defendant who is successfully defended against, as Free Me from Blocked Me. That one thing is the murder of the imagination of Blocked Me by the blockage of it. Line 14, Beth's laughing at her grandma's runner. This last line shows how the Hawaiian sonnets of Free Me caused Hagar to run away with such a child, and who then attempted to abandon it, but God intervened. The laughter is the knowing of Beth, or Free Me, that Blocked Me will return back and accept the limits of slavery instead of trying to be free as Free Me. Angel ora taifarito with me. The Invention of Unsurpassability. From Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. Sonnet 3, with commentary. Sky-minded gargoyle in a copsed drum. Lost a pair and a peaceful few. The daffodils where? Damnation adieu. Night's night, and we need our rum. Night's corny pears and some corny milk. To proofread play A by cursed Cupid. The corn is home while the duck is stupid. Watery we. And the spirit of silk. Brooklyn doll think everybody flesh. A bowl, a vacant prayer is what we crave. Epithalamion clothes root farthing save. Legs eke unforgiving fails, Beth, Resh. Tears last white rings, biz go sell. Plop, uncircumcised, go Yisroel. Line 1, Sky-minded gargoyle in a copsed drum. A gargoyle sits on a rooftop nearer to the sky drumming regret for the pair of the next line, who happen to be lost now exiled from paradise, as in Milton's Paradise Lost. Line 2, lost a pair and a peaceful few, a pair are lost, this is my sympathy for my own predicament as blocked me for Adam and Eve. They were banished from their peaceful Eden just as I have been banished from that peaceful few which is the book of Hawaiian Sonnets. Trying to write that way again is impossible for I am now blocked from doing so. Line 3, the daffodils where? Damnation adieu. My blockage is my self-imposed punishment, which can be compared to a figurative damnation since I love the paradise of Hawaiian sonnets so much but can never write that way again. The daffodils represent the beauty of that paradise, which is now gone. Line 4, night's night, and we need our rum. Rum is sometimes associated with pirates, and in this case I am thinking of piracy as the act of a would-be stealing. A piracy from Hawaiian sonnets is broken me's desire, to steal its technique to imitate it. The night plays on the understanding of night, which means my lights have gone out, and I can only dream, and do, of writing that way again. Line 5, night's corny piers and some corny milk. Instead of rum and piracy, in the years after writing Hawaiian sonnets as free me, but now as blocked me, as a knight, not a pirate, a symbolic knight who will one day get to the end of his journey, he hopes, the corny piers ironically represent other poems which blocked me has written awkwardly, for Hawaiian sonnets truly has no peers of blocked me's poems, while he is nourished by their milk, which is not the milk of paradise he once knew by writing as free me the book of Hawaiian sonnets. Line 6, to proofread play A by cursed Cupid is free me, and the angels, whose play A, is a trope for the book Hawaiian sonnets which blocked me needs to submit to in time, to proofread as it were better so as to understand that the material in that book is the very cause of blocked me's damnation, which damns him up from surpassing it. Line 7, the corn is home while the duck is stupid, the corn is that nourishment which blocked me needs to feed on, the knowledge of the trick of Hawaiian sonnets to block him, but blocked me is ducking from understanding that knowledge as becomes stupid in this figurative damnation. Line 8, watery we. And the spirit of silk. Water will be that flood symbolic of Noah's flood which drowns blocked me, the dam, and the desire to imitate Hawaiian sonnets. Water has a spirit like silk, silk flows like it. Line 9, Brooklyn doll think everybody flesh. Bine vova, is another name for a scholar doll, what my angels call me, blocked me, and when I was free me. In this case, I think everybody is flesh which means at the time of trying to copy the originality of Hawaiian sonnets, I thought it was possible, but there is a spiritual reason why it is not possible, which can and is here being known, and not a material one. I cannot cookie-cut another poem like the verse in Hawaiian sonnets. Line 10, a bowl, a vacant prayer is what we crave. The bowl is a dish of food, that can satisfy our cravings, which symbolizes the compensation for knowing one's limits after failing to be as powerful. A vacant prayer would be a prayer for that power, but it cannot work out that way ever again so it is vacant and impotent. Blocked me will never write like free me again. Line 11, epithalamion clothes root farthing save. The marriage bed, an epithalamion, and the clothes of the bride and groom are the symbol for a union and consummation, being that highest point and the root which must be saved, like one would a coin, a farthing for farther off in time when blocked me right now is being compensated for his lost paradise with the appreciation of the power of rhetoric in Hawaiian sonnets and its rich meanings. Line 12, legs eke unforgiving fails, Beth, Resh. The legs should be understood as the stem of time, where Hawaiian sonnets was the root for blocked me, the stem ekes because over time new poems from blocked me stemmed out, or he stood on them as legs, but they eke, or ache him since he is aware that he keeps failing by having fallen in love with Hawaiian sonnets. He does not forgive himself for losing his power to write that way for now but will, and as in Sonnet 2, Beth, is who reminds him of his Resh, away as Hagar. Both Beth and Resh are Hebrew letters also. Blocked me's, Hagar's legs eke from running off into the symbolic wilderness. Hagar must forgive Sarah in time. Line 13, tears last, white rings. Biz go sell. The sadness of powerlessness lasts. White rings is the sound of the ringing alarm that instead of writing poems better than Hawaiian sonnets, they are just a whiteness, or blankness compared to it. The original purpose of Hawaiian sonnets is its business to sell, that is to convince and persuade blocked me of its function to block him. Line 14, Plop, uncircumcised, go Yisroel. Yisroel was the name given to Jacob by the anonymous angel after neither of them won the wrestling match. To plop down is like wrestling on the ground for stability, but also to plop a baby in the lap of a rabbi for the rabbi to circumcise it. That baby will be understood as Hagar's child, which is that book, Hawaiian Sonnets, which is causing much trouble for Hagar, blocked me. The circumcision is a holy ritual which is part of the pact Jewish individuals and others have with God since God called for it in the Bible. Also, part of the upper leg, at the hip, was broken by the wrestling angel of Yisroel, and he limped off wounded permanently aching, with an eek. Angel Donna with me. The Invention of Unsurpassability. From Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. Sonnet 4, with commentary. Death's brain is the world's camp. Winter pumpkins, a childlike bloke. Build the natural field of smoke. Shepherd's rod at that doth lamp. The secret book's many rivals posted. On top of a groved island's red throat. Sue, I with the root of a flower note. Many calf destroyers who crawl roasted. And of basil remove the butter bread hacked. Cure builder won the bitter bridge. Of colored earth glory within a water ridge. They show you all of your oatmeal cracked. Makut lost and so call it a day. Your American crazed ray colors play. Line 1, Death's brain is the world's camp. The death of the ability of blocked me to write again like free me is original in the sense that there is only one death, and then that is that. Free me had to write the best knowing blocked me would try and imitate it and fail. That failure is a death for which Hawaiian Sonnets' originality was the whole world to blocked me. Line 2, Winter pumpkins, a childlike bloke, free me is writing about a harvest in the winter, one with pumpkins. A childlike bloke, or bloke, is free me. Line 3, Build the natural field of smoke. Being a childlike bloke, free me sets fire to his future on the field of the future ahead for blocked me, who free me becomes. To build is to fuel that fire. Line 4, Shepherd's rod at that doth lamp free me is acting as a shepherd who sets fire to his field, the future. His rod, or hook, at the field lamps, like a lit-up jack-o'-lantern. Line 5, The secret book's many rivals posted. We are now in the future where blocked me has written many books in an attempt to rival, or imitate, Hawaiian Sonnets in secret. Line 6, On top of a groved island's red throat. Hawaiian Sonnets, the book acts as a burning island, as a volcano, on fire where no other book written by blocked me can exist for long before burning in the fire of Hawaiian Sonnets' power. The red throat can be understood as the island volcano whose lava, the originality of Hawaiian Sonnets, will burn all rival books by blocked me, turning them to ash symbolically. Line 7, Sue, I with the root of a flower note. That I is the original free me of the past, author, with the guidance of his angels, of Hawaiian Sonnets. Against all opponents and rival books in blocked me's future, free me will sue, meaning he will bring them to a kind of court for trial. The root of a flower is the very book Hawaiian Sonnets. It is the root traced back from blocked me's future, a route which explains just how and why blocked me was blocked in the first place by free me writing Hawaiian Sonnets. Line 8, Many calf destroyers who crawl roasted. The judgment by fire on the field on that island includes the destruction of those who would go against the message and future covenant of Hawaiian Sonnets and other poems. As with the golden calf, and the people who transgressed the pact God made with them, there is a fiery judgment, except blocked me will be redeemed and compensated, though those books he made after Hawaiian Sonnets was written are condemned to that fate of fire. Line 9, And of basil remove the butter bread hacked. The bread and butter which would be and will be nourishment to blocked me, the book Hawaiian Sonnets, is also hacked up by him in such a way that he tried to solve the riddle of how to imitate it, inventing failed methods, but nothing worked. The basil removed is when plain bread is just so, without spice or flavor, which hacking it up, took away since the flavor of Hawaiian Sonnets cannot be reproduced in another book. Line 10, Cure builder won the bitter bridge. The bridge is bitter for blocked me since he used to be free me, who put the strategy into building a cure for the future love he would have as blocked me for his creation. The cure is the victory and the bridge back to Hawaiian Sonnets, but only as a reader not as a writer anymore. Line 11, Of colored earth glory within a water ridge. This is the rainbow, a sign of the covenant which is of trust. It is the bitter bridge since there was a flood, and there was destruction of so much, but the pact between free me and blocked me as it were is to relent writing in order to understand the poems of Hawaiian sonnets better. Line 12, they show you all of your oatmeal cracked. The ones who show are those poems from Hawaiian sonnets, showing blocked me something better and more nourishing than a meal of cracked oatmeal. Line 13, Makut lost and so call it a day. The tree of life's bottom root is the kingdom, or Makut in Hebrew in the Kabbalah. The kingdom was lost, both as the future loss and failure to outdo by rivalry Hawaiian sonnets, but also the kingdom of Hawaiian sonnets, which meant a world to blocked me was indeed lost, for a while, its purpose misunderstood, which was, that Hawaiian sonnets was supposed to blocked me from writing any better verses than its own. Line 14, your American crazed ray colors play. Hawaii is in America, but it is an island and a sort of paradise separate from mainland. The colors are those of that rainbow in line 11, which play despite the loss of any future hope for writing better. That play is understood as the illumination of reading better and knowing the powerful reason why Hawaiian sonnets' function was to blocked me from writing better than its own poetry. Angel Jennifer with me. The Invention of Unsurpassability. From Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. Sonnet 5, with commentary. Farm feud, pennies in chests. Gum one bag and make it check. 21 lawyers, for good luck. To the Tropic of Cancer, and parents best. Spare thy home tov shalom. Frog snail fanciful, goblin willow. Waddles your knowledge of the shore's pillow. Grey curtained piano yes home. So yawn a flood of wine hey owl. Ishring dough, dewy nipples, phony berries. Bore a hole to China for your cherries. Schlishkel progress on your lasting jacket, Hal. You go now, yet fleed, sweet lion. Pierre Cohen's rye tests always fine. Line 1, farm feud, pennies in chests. The farm feud is the same as in Sonnet 2, where Hagar, as blocked me, runs away from the homestead. The pennies are enough to live off of, being there are so many in the chests, but as in the next line, Hagar the star runaway can only take what she can carry. Line 2, gum one bag and make it check. Only one bag of pennies is collected into a purse, stuffed like gum in one's mouth. It is made into a check as a promissory note to pay back. Line 3, 21 lawyers for good luck. The word luck, Hebrew for going forth, is Hagar's, or blocked me's, going out, running away on her own to try and survive as a poet in the future after the experience of writing Hawaiian sonnets when she was free me. 21 is a lucky number in blackjack, a number that cannot be beat. And so Hagar cannot beat Hawaiian sonnets, but hopes to conjure up some support by accusing it of breaking its promise of its blessing. The symbolic lawyers are actually on the side of Hawaiian sonnets, which will always win. Line 4, to the Tropic of Cancer, and parents best. Hawaii is an island near the Tropic of Cancer, and Hawaiian sonnets represents the best, so it will one day be accepted again with love and respect by blocked me. Line 5, spare thy home tov shalom. Hagar running away from home symbolizes even Abraham's going forth, lech lecha, from his own home of his parents, which was requested by God. Hagar does this for a good, tov, in Hebrew, peace, shalom, in Hebrew, so as not to feud with Sarah as in the Bible, Genesis. Line 6, frog snail fanciful, goblin willow. Creatures outdoors from home, frogs, snails, even goblins await Hagar, blocked me, when she enters her wilderness. The willow is a tree which symbolizes Hagar's sadness, sometimes it is called a weeping willow. Line 7, waddles your knowledge of the shore's pillow. The outdoors in the wilderness remind blocked me of what he had when on that beautiful pillow of the beach for the sea, that its beauty was the child and book, Hawaiian sonnets. Line 8, grey curtained piano yes home. To enclose one's self in a room as if from light by the means of soft, piano, curtains represents a cloud cover of an overcast sky. The blue heavens of Hawaiian sonnets and its light is clouded, and seeing that home of heaven is blocked by the cover up. Line 9, so yawn a flood of wine, hey owl. The flood is the water which opens up like a yawn from any boredom from being separated from the best, from heaven. The wine, instead of water, would seek to relieve one from boredom, however it won't because the wine of complaint is still there of one's, blocked me's, powerless to return to the divine poet he was once in his own eyes when writing Hawaiian sonnets. The owl is a symbol for wisdom for which blocked me is being called back. Line 10, Ish ring do, dewy nipples, phony berries. An ish is Hebrew for a person. That person is being summoned to ring to do ring, but do is in place for do, meaning that it would be nice, if only he was not acting like a phony being blocked, by writing post-Hawaiian sonnets which are a weird nourishment at times, dewy nipples, and not an authentic milk of paradise. Line 11, bore a hole to China for your cherries. Every attempt to be the writer blocked me once was fails. He is not back at Hawaiian sonnets as a reader and appreciator yet, but instead goes to opposite direction, to China, boring a hole in the boredom of strengthlessness, seeking the sweetness, and failing to find it, of his original older writing method. Line 12, Schlichtal progress on your lasting jacket, Hal. Hal in Shakespeare's Henry IV, Part 2, rejected Falstaff just as blocked me makes a bad progress that lasts in rejecting Hawaiian sonnets message for a long time. A schlichtal dish is a Jewish meal which represents the preparing of return back to progress one day. Staining the jacket one wears as it falls is the symbol for error here. Line 13, you go now, yet fleed, sweet lion. Hagar runs away like Shakespeare's fleed after Macbeth murders Banquo, his father. The sweet lion refers to the universal and unconditional love which Free Me has for blocked me, who will return not as a writer again, which was his goal, but as an understander of the glory of Free Me and Free Me's book, Hawaiian Sonnets. Line 14, Pierre Cohen's rye tests always fine. Being in a strange land, a wilderness, blocked me, Hagar, must accept temporary food from strangers to sustain blocked me's life on the journey back to home. The rye bread tests, which means that the journey has been a fine test, which was the original covenant and design of Hawaiian sonnets, to make blocked me permanently jealous of its glories. Angel Honey with Me. The Invention of Unsurpassability. From Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. Sonnet 6, with commentary. Trust twice Benji, he is awesome. Eating pears of the journey, the end sky. Digesting stars, well you can buy. Less now, the rose and a world's impossum. Spies alack solve again the love. Of the good brown money, and the sigh. Of the wisdom that ships the blueness by. No childlike sculptures of a fourth ward mating rosy apprehension. Again spin or return our star-like daffodils of a rain-snaked bike. The sad sky in blood detention has a sorrowful ignorance in very hands. Our eternity, the drive of barbarians. Line 1, trust twice Benji, he is awesome. Benji is Benevova, who is, in this instance, both Free Me and blocked me, hence he will be trusted twice, being that Hawaiian sonnets involved a trust to have been written, as well as studied for its secrets. Line 2, eating pears of the journey, the end sky. One of the ways Hawaiian sonnets was written was to collect phrases of words in pairs and then assemble them. The pairs, a pun for these pairs, provide the nourishment of the book, and the ones afterward written is a similar manner so as to imitate Hawaiian sonnets, but failing to do so. The end sky is that home to which blocked me is headed. Line 3, digesting stars, well you can buy. The Hawaiian sonnets are the stars of the better nourishment which can be bought or understood after study. Line 4, less now, the rose and a world's impossum. However, the goal for blocked me all along was to cease writing so as to learn better. This is a reductive compensation, but the knowledge gained will be worth more than the idea that Hawaiian sonnets needs to be imitated in order to write more poetry. The rose is the transcendence to the world, the book, Hawaiian Sonnets, which was meant all along as to be impossible to imitate, that impossibility is its design. Line 5, spies alack solve again the love. This is a repetition of the plan for blocked me to love Hawaiian sonnets in his jealousy, trying to spy on it as it were to copy its originality, but in the end he will love it more when he solves its riddles, which is to know that the design of Hawaiian sonnets functions so as to block him from writing any better ever again. Line 6, of the good brown money, and the sigh. It is a high price to pay for such a book which Free Me made before he changed into blocked me, whose sadness over that loss all causes him to sigh. Line 7, of the wisdom that ships the blueness by. The wisdom is a sad lesson that it took a sadness to end the sadness. It passes on like the sky or like a ship passing by. Line 8, no childlike sculptures of M.O.A.T is a project which Blocked Me developed after Hawaiian Sonnets was written. It is an art project with sculptures, or monuments, but costs so much that it has its own impossible aspect. Yet, Blocked Me keeps returning to it in as a fantasy of his. Line 9, a fourth ward mating rosy apprehension. This line means that in the future, post-Hawaiian sonnets, he will rise to the understanding to stop writing in order to learn better things. Line 10, again spin or return our star-like. Considered with the next line, it is as if those stars, or sparks, are part of Blocked Me's voyage back home. Line 11, daffodils of a rain-snaked bike. Daffodils represent a spring paradise, of Hawaiian sonnets. A rain-snaked bike is that flood caused by the trick of Hawaiian sonnets which is as difficult to ride as a bike, when riding uphill in a race. Line 12, the sad sky in a blood detention. Since the sky, where the stars are, is waiting, it is as if that sunset is sad that it is taking Blocked Me to stop attempting to outdo Hawaiian sonnets by imitating it. Line 13, a sorrowful ignorance in very hands. The ignorant, blocked me. Line 14, our eternity, the drive of barbarians. The eternity is his home of knowing the power of Hawaiian sonnets, its intellectual pleasures when he accepts he can do no better poetry than it. The drive of barbarians is of course those who framed him, who set him up in this way, like a sunset, being over, and those who did that were free me, him when he authored Hawaiian sonnets, as well as his continual angel wives. Angel grouchy with me. The Invention of Unsurpassability. From Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. Sonnet 7, with commentary. Rewum, I tell ee, love a list. Corn waving ant bears quenching wisdom. Line mine dunce in 5th month dumb. Green main 100 breathe, pour each mist. Wish boy Patroclus, hayam red ugly. Ho! Nutritious camel, Richard, the lute. Nature thou card green boot. Of Miltonese, the, bell, fit floor snugly. Chest on the field no desire blows. Roll call. Mother shore fatherhood reigns. Removes dreams dry when fruit he gains. Doxy deceiving food, banality grows. Free okay afterwards, democracy baby. White bodice, dirge toy bathe me maybe. Line 1, Rewum, I tell ee, love a list. Parallel themes from other sonnets previously are love being a dealer's fee of free me, list as in listen instead of having to be deaf to the instruction to return, with nooses on Blocked Me's fingers preventing him symbolically from writing. Make troubled baby lily speak no words foretell here. To rewum is to return to the origin, not copy it. Line 2, corn waving ant bears quenching wisdom. Parallels are the corn is home, while the duck is stupid the waving corn, the ant bears which go on an ant deck for a farm feud. The quenching of the rum we need or instead the corny milk. Also, the wisdom here is the same as in the previous sonnet, of the wisdom that ships the blueness by. Line 3, line mind dunce in 5th month dumb, parallels are death's brain for mind, dunce and dumb for while the duck is stupid, sweet lion for line, and for 5th month the spring of the green justice, or grass, dot. Line 4, green main 100 breathe, pour each mist. Parallels here are for green justice, as a green sea of grass after the winter, breathe for laugh. Atop the first mountain steep, but also it is the mist which breathes, or must pour. Line 5, wish boy Patroclus, hayam red ugly, parallels here include childlike for wish boy while ish, man, ring do goes with hayam. Blocked Me reads ugly so as to keep attempting to outdo the Hawaiian sonnets of Free Me. Line 6, ho! Nutritious camel, Richard the lute. Ho goes with hey owl. The good smoke of a nutritious camel goes with the pour of the mist which is being breathed. The lute is the pennies in chests while Richard is Blocked Me as Richard II. Line 7, nature thou card green boot. Nature here is from the build the natural field of smoke like smoking a camel cigarette. The card green is the same as the green justice mentioned before, while the boot is walking the field or over the ant deck. Line 8, of Miltonese, the, bell, fit floor snugly. Milton has to do with the damnation ado of the previous sonnet. The bell has to do with the previous ring or ringing while the floor is that field mentioned above where the boot crosses the green grassy floor. Line 9, chest on the field no desire blows. The blowing here has to do both with the failure of blocked me, as well as the pour and breathing mist. The field has turned into a chess set, or table, but when one is chessed that means one is without freedom, or blocked. Yet, few widely will make their desire relating to the love earlier. Line 10, roll call. Mother shore fatherhood reigns. Education kingfish matches with roll call. And the mother shore is that shore's pillow whose knowledge is waddled while the jester best love flowers yes and pop, or father's fatherhood, which reigns like the kingfish. Line 11, removes dreams dry when fruit he gains. Here removes is a new move on the chessboard, while dreams relates to sweet dream arranger as dry relates to the shore while fruit can related to those winter pumpkins. Line 12, doxy deceiving food, banality grows. Doxy is belief, or opinion which can deceive one to better knowledge. Such food would be like the forbidden fruit which after eating was the cause of Adam and Eve being banished from Eden into a more banal world. Line 13, free okay afterwards, democracy baby. The room steals our freedom in its carriage relates to the freedom here of free and democracy while baby is the child, Hawaiian sonnets of Hager's as blocked me. Line 14, white bodice, dirge toy, bathe me maybe. No white death, of answer B goes with this white. Bodice goes with epithalamian clothes while dirge is the white death, or the shore while bathe is to ironically speak of drowning, maybe. Angel Penelope with me. The Invention of Unsurpassability. From Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. Sonnet 8, with commentary. Few widely will make their desire. Darlings lost with a bitter whirl. Many will view their Tennessee Earl. The truth beyond a lordship's fire. Sit and grant my American rose. Knock more my angel for the water. That's a wrap of spices for the daughter. Better dancing, that's a paradise which knows. Make it quick my American candle bolt. Dart all the ways your hope by night. Baby Hawaii sighs a wall of light. Of mirror born for a heart gulped jolt. Backbone of America power thy groom. Backbone of the compass of room and boom. Line 1, few widely will make their desire. Few is matched with the way my few in Sonnet 1. And desire goes both with no desire blows as well as love is a dealer's fee owed by you. Line 2, darlings lost with a bitter whirl. The darlings are those few while they are lost like in lost, lost a pair, and a peaceful few. The bitterness here goes with sad detention while the whirl is as the spin of the wind that breathes mist. Line 3, many will view their Tennessee Earl. The many contrasts with the few and the view of a Tennessee Earl is in the America, of which Hawaii is also a part. An Earl goes with the truth beyond a lordship's fire. Line 4, the truth beyond a lordship's fire. Truth here is the same as the get-e-myth sort. The lordship is matched with the shipping of the blueness by and the fire that of the island's red throat, volcanoes. Line 5, sit and grant my American rose. The American rose relates to I, with the root of a flower note. To sit and grant means to be patient and chill as in the way is of building a kingdom of chill. Line 6, knock more my angel for the water. To knock is to call, like a roll call, whereas the angel relates to the American rose who is thirsty for water. Line 7, that's a wrap of spices for the daughter. Saying that's a wrap is as saying it's over which relates to the end sky where the spices match with basil and the daughter with childlike. Line 8, better dancing, that's a paradise which knows. The dancing will eventually go with starry spring silver bewitch the dance, and the paradise here is heaven which will come later, a heaven of knowing white death, of answer B. Line 9, make it quick my American candle bolt, the quickness relates to ideas like break sound, the barrier, in a silver flower, which is coming upon the speed of light with the candle which itself relates to the body bone candle. Line 10, dart all the ways your hope by night. The dart relates to the quick the ways match those of the field which is a chessboard from the earlier sonnet. Hope may be understood as desire in one way, and the night as that night of the night's night. Line 11, Baby Hawaii sighs a wall of light. Baby Hawaii is Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems, the book we are studying together. The sighs match with the sigh/ of the wisdom which ships the blueness by. The wall is the same as the flood, of light. Line 12, of mirror born for a heart gulped jolt, the mirror is the nature of Milton. To be born is that baby Hawaii, while the heart gulped jolt is the satisfaction from the hunger from earlier for the buttered bread, of the book/child which is Hawaiian Sonnets. Line 13, Backbone of America, power thy groom. The backbone matches with the body bone candle of America, it stands for Hawaii. The power is the same as in power road stumbles and ish flattered, while groom relates both to the mirror as well as the epithalamion, or marriage bed. Line 14, Backbone of the compass of room and boom. The compass has to do with plotting the course of the return to glory, while the room matches with the grey curtained piano, which is the soft, piano, cloud cover, grey curtained, which closes the world in its room, sometimes for rain, as here, with a thunder boom. Angel honey with me. The Invention of Unsurpassability. From Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. Sonnet 9, with commentary. M.O.A. Fallen skull of all bleeds. So you're the floors with peacocks pounding. Gum one dagger mystery rounding. Grey curtained piano in the lonely weeds. Man dressed shalom in thunderbird badness. Har. The drake's leaves hilly red night. Hell's fiddler fairy, a heavenly sight. Lips tin hayam wishing for sadness. Blackberry remembered throat, world tea, walk. Mummy music now still yonder springs. Lo, wine pipe bringing hungry rings. Venice elegant, garden talk. Order pad a time, checked selections. Casts, the breasts of father's recollections. Line 1, M.O.A. Fallen skull of all bleeds. MOAI being the signature of a Lady Malvolio is deceived to think is Olivia, in Shakespeare's Twelfth Night, matches with wipe deceiver's grey, while the fallen relates to many rivals and skull is a pun for school and school blue fun, later. Line 2, so you're the floor with peacocks pounding. The your or you is blocked me, nature thou. The floor matches with the field where no desire blows, and the peacocks are those trusted birds from earlier, each with their vain will. The pounding relates to roughing Penelope. Line 3, gum one dagger mystery rounding. Gum matches with gum one bag, fill a bag with pennies from the chest, while dagger is equivalent to a blade of grass on the green justice of the field and chessboard. The mystery will relate later to mystical is all charity. And rounding must go with the moonshine doth circle, later. Line 4, grey curtained piano in the lonely weeds. The grey curtained piano is the same as before, the overcast sky, but here it is the mist in the lonely weeds which relate to the weed lord and the sad sky. Line 5, man dressed shalom in thunderbird badness, the man is matched with bent day, man, later, while the dress relates to the epithalamion clothes and shalom to tov shalom. The thunderbird badness goes with check me thunderbird, and again the boundless thunder sounds end, both later, while badness relates to the desire for the thunder to end bad music die, later. Line 6, har. The drake's leaves hilly red night. The har is pirate talk like I tell ee. The drake may match with the stupid duck as the hilly red night with the mountain steep, the sad sky in a blood detention of the night's night. Line 7, hell's fiddler fairy, a heavenly sight. The hell here matches with damnation adieu, while the fiddler fairy with the bad music and the frog snail fanciful goblin willow scene. A heavenly sight is the view of the many will view their Tennessee Earl with heaven relating to the end sky. Line 8, lips tin hayam wishing for sadness. Lips go with the soul tulips, later, while tin goes with critics complain slung against the pen. Hayam is the same as before, hayam read ugly, and the wish for sadness matches with few widely will make their desire known, for the sadness of the sad sky. Line 9, blackberry remembered throat, world tea, walk. The blackberry relates to the fruit that father gains when he removes dreams dry. The remembered throat is the red island throat of the island volcano, while world tea is rum and walk the removing of dreams dry, walking the shore. Line 10, mummy music now still yonder springs. Mummy music relates to bad music of later, and it springs as in the foot of a dancer, starry spring silver bewitch the dance, later. Line 11, lo, wine pipe bringing hungry rings. Red hunger fall, later, will relate to the hungry rings as does ring, the siren and the drain. The low of the wine pipe matches with the breathe, pour each mist and the so yawn a flood of wine line. Line 12, Venice elegant, garden talk. Venice is a place that is not the America of colored visions but is still elegant and beautiful as when blocked me made his way to China, bore a hole to China. The garden is where one looks for flowers, the daffodil, where. And the talk relates to the line before, make troubled baby lily speak no words. Line 13, order pad a time, checked selections. The order is to buy as in biz go sell. The pad is a starry notebook, later, while the checked selections match with the gum one bag and make it check. Line 14, casts, the breasts of father's recollections. Casts go with the shore of mother shore as well as the Dante crew cast an opinionated fight, later. The breasts go with the white bodice and father's recollections with fatherhood reigns and mothered memory, hark. Later. Angel grouchy with me. The Invention of Unsurpassability. From Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. Sonnet 10, with commentary. None briefly brave thy French-bred smile. The gardeners swaying grass neath wine-red sheets. Clovers opening by the stinky beets. No island roots cut the owl for a while. Over our green dreams, up to the grassy path. Time's banal books branching no more tents. Clovers opening swelling warm torrents. The tides sprinkled around make a good bath. Silent island roots under the walls of the wild. A falling song of a visitor burns curious. The sun scatters gold bugs of spring furious. Throwing caps up, beings charged to the child. Evening is all to our ancient river sisters. Hued heart hated as our fear of blisters. Line 1, none briefly brave thy French-bred smile, brave here matches with stubborn, zealous, later, and French-bred goes with the butterbread hacked. The smile will later go with the phrase, moon build a smile. Line 2, the gardeners swaying grass neath wine-red sheets. The gardener matches with garden talk of the previous sonnet where the swaying grass will go with slinging lady leaves. Neath means beneath as in brown sky undergrounds our happiness, later. The wine-red goes with so yawn a flood of wine, swelling warm torrents. And the sheets go with the skies in its grey-curtained piano. Line 3, clovers opening by the stinky beets. The clovers relate to the flowers of the jester best love flowers yes and pop, that is to pop open. The stinky beets match with divine gummy odor on the knife of a cook, as well as the no island roots cut the owl for a while, the beet as a root, sue, I with the root of a flower note. Line 4, no island roots cut the owl for a while, the island is baby Hawaii while the owl came up before hey hey, hoo, owl. Sometimes to cut is to cheat and therefore to beat. Line 5, over our green dreams, up to the grassy path. The green dreams relates to the green justice, another dream, which is the grassy floor or ant deck whose path is a road as in the phrase, power road stumbles and ish flattered. Line 6, time's banal books branching no more tents. Time refers to the of the month's beholding feet, later, while the banal books are those blocked me attempted to write after he, as free me wrote Hawaiian sonnets and other poems. Banality grows and the books are also each a note from the line with the root of a flower note branching as in this case a flower on a tree. To have no more tents is to have finally no more need for them because blocked me reached his destination, his home the end award kingdom, later. Line 7, clovers opening, swelling warm torrents. The warm here relates to Beth's warm mind in Sonnet 2, while the swelling torrents will be seen as a match for the intelligent frolicsome hurricane / the dart to fall of a hoped master, from later. Line 8, the tides sprinkled around make a good bath. This whole line is the equivalent of white bodice, dirge toy bathe me maybe, where blocked me is walking the shore of his mother as fatherhood reigns, and, removes dreams dry. Line 9, silent island roots under the walls of the wild. The silence here mentioned is that of the peaceful few and of the gimme shalom sometime, later. It also is the silence of when father comes home in silence. The island is baby Hawaii, while the roots are the beets in this poem. The walls of the wild perfectly match the line, baby Hawaii sighs a wall of light. Line 10, a falling song of a visitor burns curious. The falling song is paired with bad music, later, while the visitor is the same as the line where shoes take in their visitors. The burning is like that of the body bone candle and the curiosity is the hope from the line, dart all the ways of your hope by night. Line 11, the sun scatters gold bugs of spring furious. The sun is the same as the sun in the sad sky with its blood detention. It scatters its light in the same way baby Hawaii darts its ways of your hope by night baby Hawaii which sighs a wall of light. The bugs go with other creatures of the sort frog snail fanciful. And these